Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd and the market hours update for Tuesday, October 7th. So I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also, I don't have it organized up here, but also IBIT, which is up here, and that is the Bitcoin ETF. We'll also be going over Sharp Link Gaming, ticker symbol SBET. And then also, I did want to go over Tesla because I think there's something pretty interesting happening today with the company. But first, I am going to start with Bitcoin, just do a quick little overview. And I do want to point out one thing. This is a tweet from Mike Alfred. I retweeted it. And actually, I might zoom in here so we can see that a little bit cleaner. And so what he said earlier today, this would have been around noon Eastern because I am in Central Time. And he said that, he's on a $17 million swing from pre-market to now. And so I imagine that is $17 million coming down. And, this is exactly the kind of price action that triggers capitulation. These guys are good, so you have to be better. Know why you're here. And then he is going to a range and posted some photos from that. But, the point here is that we have had a pretty nice rally up on Bitcoin. If I do come over here, I think it's going to populate some of the drawings that I have up there. But we went up, 16%, and now we are pulling back today so far on the 7th, about 2.6%. I think it's all good. I think, just gotta, relax. And related to Bitcoin is the IBIT ETF. I will go over that in a second, but did just want to point out some of the levels here. I went over this in Crypto Corner Stacker on Saturday, all of the levels drawn up here. But we do have, this yellow line here right around $118,000 that also corresponds with, let's see, the 382, but we actually have to adjust that because we did go to a higher high, and that's actually breaking below the 382 to just above the 50% there. And I'm just undoing that because I'll want to update that for Crypto Corner Stacker on Saturday. But yeah, 118,000. I think we're still looking good. If we do go down to that level, still think we're looking good. So no worries there. And so I think this is just a time to just sit back and chill whenever we have really big days. Yesterday was a really good day for me. Got to correct a little bit, consolidate, and then keep going forward. And on that note, one of them that has been standing out to me is IBIT. This is the BlackRock iShares Bitcoin ETF. I do have some calls in this with a $90 strike that expire in November. And actually, the reason why I got into this is because I'm just intrigued by Mike Alfred, and I think he's got some really nice plays going on, whether that's iron or banked or CIFR, which is Cipher Mining backed, I believe, BKKT. I don't think I have it up on my list anymore. But yeah, so I am in the calls, some IBIT calls. I did trim a little bit yesterday, and now, I'm thinking, man, I should have trimmed more yesterday, or man, I'm still in the green. Maybe I should sell a little bit so I can buy back at my average. This is the contract, not the shares. I don't have any IBIT shares. And, this is exactly what he's talking about over here, is that this is exactly the kind of price action that triggers capitulation. These guys are good, so you have to be better. Right here, I'll highlight it for you so you can see it. These guys are good, so you have to be better. Yeah, so this is, just exactly what I would expect to be happening after this big move. And one thing that I can do here is adjust this Fibonacci retracement. So just going up to, actually, it's locked into place, so I might just adjust the number here to the high, which was 71.82. And so let's just adjust that here, 71.82. And so that is going up to the high here. And so if we do pull back to, the 236, that's at the yellow line where I drew there, we are currently below that, currently at a price of $68.95, right around 69. That corresponds with like the tops over here. We had put in a all-time high on August 13th. We just blew past it, might come back to retest it. So what we're seeing right now might actually be a dip buying opportunity if this goes up into close, that is what it would look like with a wick below that level and then closing higher. And so that level is actually at like $69.40, right around there. And that does, let's see, correspond with the high here. It was at 69.46 cents. So right around 69.50, let's say. We could be coming down to the 382. That's going to be around 68 bucks. Could be going even lower. The 50% is around 67, and that corresponds with the tops over here. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to just chill. I'm chilling, sitting on my hands today, but I did add a little bit to some positions, and one of those is related to ETH. I do daily DCAs for Bitcoin and Ethereum and some other cryptos. But yeah, looking over here at ETH, this is a chart that I drew up. I put a video up. It's only gotten like it's 4 minutes long. It's gotten less than 100 views, I believe. But just some great analysis here, and kind of called the bottom there. I suspect that will be respected with the low on September 25th. So actually a couple of days before I expected it to bottom. And let's see, September 25th, the low was $3,820. This is Bitstamp data, I should note, whereas Bitcoin, we were looking at Coinbase data, and then I will be going over this Ethereum chart. Crypto corner sat stackers, but it does look like, we've been in this downtrend above the 200-day moving average, which if I remove the drawings, you can see that very clearly. So maybe we come down to, retest that moving average. That's around $4,400. But I could also see us like sweeping down here to around 4,200, having fun. There's a 420 in that number, but remaining above this high. And that would actually correspond with the dash blue line. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but the midpoint of that channel. Pulling back, find that as support, and then go higher to new all-time highs, 5,000 and beyond. And one that I did dip by a little bit today is going to be SBET. Pretty big red candle here, 8.5%, 8.47% down so far on the day today, October 7th. Pulling back to the 382, but I'm probably just going to adjust that, locked into place. Why do I always do that? So let's see, what was the high yesterday? 1946. The high today was 1954. So I'm just going to adjust that here. And we've actually pulled back to the 50%, around 1757. Current price trading at 1764. And so I did have, actually I might adjust that back. I had a dip by order thinking that it might be pulling down to around 1750. I had a dip by order placed at 1769 because you got to have fun with the numbers. That was filled. Just one share adding to my position. If it does go lower, I'll probably add more around 1710. That is the 618, so it could be at some support there. And then before I do check the chat, sorry, I am neglecting that a little bit, but I will check it in a second. I did just want to pull up the Tesla chart here. I haven't really done anything on the chart with drawings. I did do this a while ago. I'm not sure when, but just kind of this downtrend that we broke out from, retested 50-day moving average, and then went higher. Interesting. I did have this kind of head and shoulders pattern that, let's see, from the top of the head to that neckline, it didn't get, all the way down to here, but maybe we could do a little fib extension from the top to here and then up to here, and nearly got down to that level of 205, but not quite. But yeah, just wanted to throw that up there because it's kind of a big day for Tesla. I think I've got it over here. And actually, Tesla net call premium zoomed in a little more than I'd like to be. But on October 5th, we have this video here from Tesla. And October 7th, what's going on October 7th? October 7th is today. So I think that there's going to be some news probably after the close for Tesla. Colin Gladman has speculated that they're going to be releasing or announcing the more economic car that they have been working on for a while. Other people have speculated that that could be like the cooling fan for the Roadster. So I think we're going to get some exciting news that could send the stock price higher. However, I also did check the net call premium here, and at the time of posting, it was down by $63 million. So far today on October. Oh, I put the wrong date there. Can I edit this? I can. Don't tell, but sometimes I write so far and accidentally um, it comes out as fart, uday, and I just think it's funny, so I left that. And so, 63 million down so far today. So are we going to see a drop in the after hours? And then, does Tim Walls know something because he likes to get a boost by Tesla stock price coming down? And so, yep, we can see net call premium down 63 million, and net put premium is up by 1.5 million, right around there. But we can actually check the data here, and that net call premium is actually rising up. Now it's only down by about $40 million. So coming back to exactly what Mike Alfred was saying over here is this is exactly the kind of price action that triggers capitulation. These guys are so good, you have to be better, whether that relates to Bitcoin, IBIT, Tesla, or whatever else, Cypher backed, and Iron. He's talked a lot about those. You gotta have conviction. And so what I think that we were seeing here when I posted that is that was probably the capitulation moment. And maybe this is going back up because, net call premium was down $73.59 million. The number keeps changing, but when I hover over it, that's where it's at. But then it went up to about negative 40 million. So not looking so bad there after all, although net call premium is still down. So, yeah, I'm just going to come back to the chart and then I will check the chat. And so John is saying over there, I'm just going to pull it up here. Let's see. John is saying, grabbed a nice swing off the open on SQQQ. Very nice. I can pull that up real quick. Although I mean, for me, like I'm not necessarily that like dynamic and stuff. And I found that with any of these short positions, it's good to be, like in and out and not just like hedging because then you end up bleeding down for a while. And also this is pro shares. So I believe this is 2x leveraged, if not 3x leveraged. So it can definitely, whether it's contango or just, the like decay of contracts, or ETFs and futures. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but yeah, so it can be risky. But yeah, so far SQQQ is up 1.8% on the day. I imagine that would correspond with the QQQ being down by about 1%, something like that. So I might just check over here. This is down 0.57%. So this comes down 0.57%. The SQQQ goes up, 180. So 1.8%. Is that what I said? So let's see. Yep, 1.8%. So yep, very nice. I don't know how long it's going to be lived. So always good to be cautious of that. And one thing that I think, at least is very helpful for me, 1.8%, 2%, 4%, whatever, may not seem like that much, but if you compare it to like a savings account, you'd get like a good one. I believe you get about 4% APY, and that's over the course of the year. So getting like 2% in a day, that's really good. So, but yeah, I mean, we do have the moving average up here on that around 17. So that could, be a level that it goes to, but that would have to correspond with kind of a collapse there. So I don't know if that's going to happen. Coming back to Mike Alfred's tweet, I think we're kind of seeing a capitulation day, but it's just leading up to more opportunity to the upside. And so Nick is saying, dude, my DVNT is the only thing holding me back. And so let's see, DVNT. Let's pull this up. Ooh, wait. Let's see, symbol search. DVNT. No symbols match your criteria. I'm not able to pull that up. And let's see. I'm just going to pull up Weeble here so I can search DVNT. I'm not sure. Did I? Yeah, I'm not. Maybe there was a typo there. I'm not seeing it. But yeah, I'm glad it's whether it's holding you back or holding you up. I hope it's good. And then John has the chat here saying, still eyeing a pullback in plug to 290 to 3. John to load is thinking about loading 20,000 shares back in around there. So I'll pull up the plug chart. This is one that I'm not in. I don't plan to get in. For me, it's just like too much emotional baggage, I guess. I'd want to see it like really kind of cool off. And basically when people aren't excited about it, that's when I would get interested in it. I just, missed it on the way up. It is what it is. But yeah, 332. I've talked about that. It could be an important level over here. But then following that, there is this like, bear flag come down, and that would be around 290. So yeah, I think that 290 to 3 could be a really nice dip buying opportunity. And I think that, going below 332 would be a good idea because I think that if it does pull back, it might sweep those lows. And this, that I had drawn, that was all to kind of see. I'm actually not going to mess with that, but that was to suggest what could be happening in a day. Did go up to exactly that price yesterday, which is pretty crazy, but then maybe pulling down to 330, but maybe also not. And one thing that I could do with that is, it's looking up the Tesla flow over here, but we can just look up the plug flow real quick. Just going to pull up whatever arbitrary contract. Call premium does look like it's down today. I'm just going to expand this so we can see it a little bit better. And so plug over here, you can see, and net call premium in green has come down along with a yellow stock price and moving sideways here. And so the net call premium is down by $1.65 million so far today. But just like Tesla's going up, over here, well, look at that. Look at that. I might actually have to post an update to that post that I had over there. So I can, let's see. So I'm just going to do Tesla NCP going up quick. And that's now at, what did I say? Now at negative 30 million. Now at negative 30 million. Something went wrong. Oh, it's because, dang it. I'm gonna have to take a new screenshot. It's because I updated that version. And so where's the updated version of that? Okay, so this is down there. And so I'm just gonna do this. And then take another screenshot. Sorry about being a little clunky here. But now we get, less than, it's down less than 30 million now. And I just copy that to my clipboard so I can paste it over here. And so let's retweet that. So people who, I don't know, I guess people who follow me would see that, but yeah, maybe it just helps the distribution a little bit better. But yeah, I was talking about plug. This is coming up. It could change very much so by the end of the day, like Tesla is. But yeah, down 1.64 million. If we go back the past 3 days just to get a little bit of perspective, call premium over here on Friday last week was up 2.89 million. Yesterday it was more or less flat, up about 669,000. So that's not more or less flat, but relative to, it actually doesn't seem like it seems like it's much lower than that based on where the green line is. But over to here, this is almost 3 million. So yeah, okay. And then here down so far, like I said, 1.64 million. So this is suggesting the selling of calls, and that could be suggesting that it's going lower, but it also could be kind of like a capitulation event, upside move. People capitulate into today, and then they close their eyes for a second and see that, oh my gosh, the stock's higher, whether that's Tesla, whether that's Plug, whether that's Bitcoin or IBIT or whatever, it could be, this could be short-lived. And if we are looking at, kind of to get an idea of the volume, the day is not over yet. So this volume is going to be changing. So actually on that note, maybe I'll just switch over to the hourly. And I'm just going to fast forward here to, current time. And we can see, as it's holding up here, volume's coming down. So, that's potentially good. But yeah, this is, not really too dissimilar to the volume that we saw over here, and it's holding. So that means that, like the selling pressure is kind of drying up. So maybe it actually doesn't get to 332, but at the same time, it's like I tend to be fairly cautious when something goes up a lot. I say, line in the sand is 332. I'm not touching it until then. But then it doesn't go down that low because it starts to consolidate with lower volume here, and then it continues higher. So it's quite possible that it doesn't come down to 332. We can just see this, just being kind of approximate, but lower volume, decreasing volume as it holds up there. So there's no more selling pressure. All of those who are selling up here, they seem to have disappeared, is my interpretation of it, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm less convinced it's going to come down to 332 because we're starting to see Tesla call premium turning around. Maybe that happens with Plug. It's also not even more than $2 million down. And considering that, a few days ago, it was up more like almost $3 million, 2.89. So it may not be pulling back as much as you might be hoping. And one thing, maybe this is helpful with that, I'll just share something that I had done earlier today. So I did a video going over Snapchat and comparing it with Webull, and whether stuff is bearish or bullish. In that, spoiler alert, I talked about Webull being bearish looking, thanks largely to Free Wyckoffs or Rico on X. And so that has ended up playing out. Snap, I talked about, it potentially coming down to around 8. And, considering that, it's like, okay, maybe it comes down to 8. That's great. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only comes down to like 804 or 810, whatever it is. What was the low so far today? 822. Wait, no, that's the close. The close is not yet. The low was 811. And so if it comes down to there and I don't get a fill at 8, then I'm getting left behind. And so what I did is I bought a portion of a position at 850, and then I have a limit order to buy basically a double of that at 8. And so then my average would be at 825. That second order didn't get filled, but I was initially just going to place one order at 8. So that's kind of, maybe it's might be a good idea regarding Plug. If 20,000 shares is what you're set on at around 3. Maybe, you could do, a couple thousand or something around where it's at, maybe incrementally buy those down with maybe a final like 10,000 at $2.90 or $3. So maybe that works for you. I really like to dollar cost average into things, and I try to be better at building small positions rather than just going all in at one level, because I do get left behind a lot. Because sometimes, like AMC, for example, yesterday the low was 290. That didn't get filled. Did get filled today, though. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I'm just going to pull up, let's see, Nick's saying here, seems like gold is the only thing keeping steam. I think that, gold is kind of like, it seems like a leading indicator, because a lot of things, stock market, Bitcoin, are going up because of the dollar's value going down. And so you can look at gold as going up, or you can look at the dollar going down. And if the dollar's going down, everything else is going up. And so, yeah, I feel like gold tends to be kind of a leader in that sense. I feel like it has with Bitcoin in the past, and it seems to be doing that now. But yeah, I'll just pull up a gold chart so we could look at that real quick. Hopefully, I'll do the capital.com one, capital.com. And yeah, it looks like it's pushing a new all-time high. The gold is at $3,985, somewhere around there. And we can see, look, this volume's crazy. That's not on the log scale or anything. That's just, yeah, well, to be honest, I'm not sure when I did this channel, but it's clearly broken out of that. If we do this on the log scale, oops, that's for volume log. I want to do the log up here. Huh. So yeah, I mean, this could be going up to, let's say, just straight line up, basically 5,660, something like that. And maybe I also want to just pull up US dollars per ounce. I'm not sure if this is the same kind of chart. 3,985, is that about the same? Yeah, so I think that you'd probably want to be looking at this on the log scale. I think that's probably a better perspective. And yet we're kind of at the midpoint there, so maybe it does cool off a little bit, and then Bitcoin and whatever else can maybe catch up. I don't know. I don't really follow gold too closely because, you see this period over here where it was just consolidating for a while. That kind of bored me out of it, and yeah, now it's going up. That's how it works, though. And yeah, I'm going to switch this back to unlog and then see what else is in the chat. So John is saying, we need a washout bad when trash names are going parabolic. If you're talking about gold, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, yeah, what are the trash names that you're thinking going parabolic? I don't really follow stuff that goes parabolic too much. It's like I get out, or if I'm in it, and then I try to ignore misspellings. Daniel, so what did you... I'm not sure. I'm not seeing what might have been misspelled in the chat, Daniel. This is the first one that I'm seeing in there, but maybe I'll let's see, misspellings. I'm not sure if that's referring to let's see, DVNT from Nick. But yeah, let's keep going down here. Head and shoulders on Bitcoin on the 4-hour was my thesis for SQQQ. Oh yeah, very nice. And let's see on the 4-hour. And so with that being a shorter time frame, that is going to mean that the move is probably not going to be played or not as prolonged. It's not going to be super long-lived. So yeah, if I do flip over to the 4-hour, maybe I'll just remove my drawings so we got less clutter here. And I'm just going to fast forward this to current time. And let's see. I'm not really seeing head and shoulders unless... Yeah, because these are all higher highs. And so... so I'm not seeing that too much, but I mean, I think that, generally when stuff goes up so much, yeah, there's probably going to be a pullback. So very nice call with the SQQQ. In this, yeah, I mean, I see that, pulling back to around here, that's around 117 for Bitcoin, just a little bit below 118. And so that's where I really kind of see it potentially finding a lot of support if it does go back that far. And, Mike Alfred talks a lot about, chart kids or kid analysts. I would assume that he's referring to people like me, which I don't take offense by. I'm learning, so that's totally fine. But I would think that a kid analyst would draw up basically what I have here and say Bitcoin's going down to 118. I'm going to wait to buy there. I don't do that anymore with Bitcoin because I've been left behind. I just do daily dollar cost averages until I build up to the position size that I want, which I'll be hitting in less than 2 weeks, I believe. And then I'll probably start to swing at Bitcoin while also stacking, but at a smaller, slower rate. But yeah, anyways, Bitcoin here is at 121. Yeah, it's a pretty big discount compared to where it was just yesterday, hitting all-time highs of 126,296. I think we're going to be going up to at least $135,000 later this year. But the reality is, I feel like retail, or not even retail, I mean, retail's us. So we're here, but like, normies, people aren't, you go to work, people aren't talking about Bitcoin or crypto at work. Or maybe they are talking about some aspects, you overhear some stuff, but it's like it hasn't gotten to parabolic territory yet. And so I still expect that to be happening when it's like, coming up on Thanksgiving, when family members are like, oh my gosh, well, Bitcoin, all this stuff. And yeah, that's kind of like topping signal that, everybody's getting on board. That's where you get the bag holders up there, offload your position and, whatnot. But for me, I'm just stacking Bitcoin, so I'm not really planning on selling unless it gets really, really crazy. But yeah, I mean, I've been streaming for a little over 30 minutes, about 30 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm probably going to wind this down. But one thing, I guess a couple things I might pull up. I would okay, so one thing I need to get better at mentioning this at the beginning of the streams, included in the links in the description of this video are links to videos that I've done recently. And so if you do want to check out stuff, you can either go to, the channel, so DGenEd, and check out, the videos that I put up there. I just put out this one, Bearish or Bullish. It's about 35 minutes long. I think it's really great content on Webull and Snapchat. And, hopefully that was helpful because I was talking about Webull potentially looking good. But then I looked at the options data this morning and I was a little slow to put it out. Sorry, I was working late, so got up a little late. Yeah, I included it in the video, so I'd encourage checking that out. And we can, maybe see over here what's going on with Webull. But yeah, it's not looking so great currently, trading at, let's see, 1306, maybe coming down here to around 1250, if not lower. And then it could be playing out like Free Wyckoff was saying, getting into a pretty long accumulation phase. That would be like over here coming down to potentially like $5 or so from 13. So seems very risky, but also maybe things could change. And actually, on the note of things changing, maybe I want to look at the data over here. This is for the 7th. It says 7th up here, but this is for the data from yesterday because it's finished. And so I'm just going to pull this up. Oh man, what's going on here? I want the 1 day up here. And so we see net call premium coming down by $3.05 million. However, net put premium is also down, but only by $2.18 million. So generally, I mean, Webull, I think I don't think that this one looks like a good trade. However, Snap, let's see over here. This looks a little bit wonky, so I'm going to refresh it because it's probably not the correct data there. But for Snap, net call premium currently up by $1.12 million. So looking really good. I'd encourage you check out that video right here. It's only gotten 11 views so far, only 4 hours old, and it's a great one. And with that being said, I'm just going to come back to the chart over here. And yep, Daniel saying, thanks. Attention to detail is paramount. See you later. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's, pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they can hold me back. Definitely that attention to detail. But yeah, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more comments like this. Maybe I said that kind of go on autopilot with that. But yeah, I will perhaps do a video tomorrow, maybe on Tesla, talking about that. I would think that's pretty interesting, or maybe something else. Maybe something from the stream, clipped, or again, something else. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I got to get headed to work pretty soon. So